Rent control affects many cities throughout the United States, including San Diego. Throughout the past few years, San Diego has seen many changes in rent control laws, which has made a lot of challenges for landlords. Hi, my name is Natalia from Good Life Property Management, and today we are going to go over rent control and how it works. Let's start with the big question. What is rent control? Rent control is a government program that limits the amount you can increase a tenant's rent and the reasonings why you can evict a tenant. This type of program is found in heavily tenant-populated areas, and this program is intended to protect the most vulnerable and prevent people from becoming displaced. Previously, San Diego allowed landlords to increase the rent without much restrictions, as long as they gave them the required legal notice and didn't interfere with any price gouging laws. This all changed in 2019 with the Tenant Protection Act of 2019, also known as AB 1482 or the Assembly Bill 1482. AB 1482 is a statewide moratorium that affects specific properties. It provides a maximum amount that you can increase a tenant's rent and provides very limiting reasons why you can evict a tenant. For rent increases, it limits the amount to 5% plus a percentage change in the Consumer Price Index, which is the cost of living. Although there is already a statewide rent control law in place, it is important to keep in mind that there's often temporary rent control laws that override the statewide rent control laws, and it affects those that are not traditionally on rent control laws. We're going to start with SB 91, and we're going to talk about the San Diego Eviction Ban and then go into price gouging. First, let's talk about SB 91. SB 91 was passed in January 2021 to provide protections for both tenants and landlords that were affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. The biggest impact that SB 91 had was that it adopted the just cause provisions from AB 1482, even for those that were traditionally exempt from AB 1482. Next, let's talk about the San Diego Eviction Ban. In early May of 2021, the San Diego County Board of Supervisors passed a law that would affect the entire county and unincorporated areas of San Diego. This ban does a few things. It prohibits landlords from terminating their tenant's lease unless it's for health and safety, and it restricts even more of a rent cap for properties that are traditionally under AB 1482 down to just the Consumer Price Index change from April 2020 to April 2021, which is about 4%. While the rent cap only applies to those that are traditionally under AB 1482, the eviction ban actually affects all areas of San Diego, even the unincorporated areas. This means that if your property is not traditionally under AB 1482, you cannot evict a tenant unless it's for health and safety. Another temporary law in place right now is with price gouging. This affects all landlords throughout the entire state of California. California went into a state of emergency in December 2019 due to wildfires. Because of the COVID pandemic, that state of emergency has been extended. During a state of emergency, California prohibits those that are selling certain services and items to extend the price more than 10% during a state of emergency from what it was before the state of emergency. This includes housing. This means that you cannot increase a tenant's rent that may not have any rent caps more than 10%. There are many concerns surrounding rent control. It is found that tenants in a rent-controlled property are going to stay longer than a non-rent-controlled property. Because of this, it reduces the supply available on the market, and then those that are available on the market are pretty expensive because demand is very high. Because of the low profits in rent-controlled areas, developers are more likely to build outside of rent-controlled areas or build things that are maybe not residential. This ultimately limits the amount of housing on the market and becomes a huge challenge for renters. To help you navigate through the many complex rent control laws, please check out our blog below for more information, and don't forget to like and subscribe.